Hi everyone, and welcome back to Vinted Value Mama. If you love scoring the best deals on secondhand clothes, then you're in the right place. Today I'm sharing my top negotiation tips so that you can get the best prices on Vinted every single time. I think being able to haggle really sets Vinted apart from other secondhand apps, and it can help you get even better deals on secondhand clothes. This is what we're going to be covering today. When to make an offer, the best message to send, how to bundle items to maximize deals, and what not to do. So, if you want to shop smarter and save big, then stick around. First up, how to determine if an item is already a fair price or if it's way too high. Number one, you want to look for similar items on Vinted. You can do this just in the course of your search. Maybe you want to favorite 10 different items and then they're all on your favorites list together and you can really compare and contrast and see which one is going to be the best value. You can also scroll down in the listing and click on similar items. That's going to show you what the Vinted algorithm considers to be similar. And then you can see if other sellers are selling the same item for way less, then you know you have room to negotiate. Or you could just buy it from somebody else. The second thing that you can check is what the price of the garment was new. And if the secondhand price is really close to the price it was new, then you know that you're in a better position to negotiate. Now, this can be really difficult on Vinted, especially if it's something that's been out for a couple seasons now, or if it's something generic. You know, if you Google white top Zara, you're not going to find the same white top from Zara that you're looking at. What can you do? If the seller has taken some really good photos of the tags, you can try the numbers on the tags. That's pretty hit or miss for me. What usually works best is if there are nice photos, Google image searching for one of the photos and add even more relevant information like the brand name. If the garment isn't being sold anymore, you still won't be able to find out how much it was worth when it was new, but at least you get to see some pictures of the garment on models. That's always fun. If you suspect that something might be priced too high, then it's always really important to do a Google reverse image search, especially if the brand is just like vintage or skirt. Those sellers are often buying cheap Chinese stuff off a site like Temu and then drop shipping it to you for much more money. We don't want that. That's not a good value. You should also be factoring in condition. If something is brand new with the tag still on, then the seller is probably less likely to accept a lower offer. If there are some signs of wear, then there might be a little bit of room to negotiate. And last but certainly not least, you need to consider how long the listing has been up. If something was freshly listed yesterday, the seller probably isn't interested in entertaining any offers at the moment. But if it's been a few weeks, a few months, then they could be pretty excited about the possibility of getting rid of it. Next up, let's talk about how to negotiate with the seller. And I can tell you right off the bat what you do not want to do. You do not want to send the seller some sob story about how you're broke, your car broke down, your dog was shot, your granny's in the hospital. The seller does not care about your problems, real or imaginary. The seller has problems of their own. But in my experience, the seller is more likely to accept your offer if you send them a message at the same time. Remember to be polite and considerate. My go-to message is, "Hello, if you choose to accept my offer, I will buy your scarf, tank top, whatever, immediately." I'm not telling the seller about all my problems or how broke I am. I'm trying to think about them. If you're the seller and something's been listed for a few weeks, a few months, then the idea of being able to sell it immediately really solves a problem for you. If you maybe are the seller and you've been talking to other buyers in the past, but then those buyers ghosted you and it was really disappointing, the idea of selling it immediately with no hassle is really enticing. What you should not do are lowball offers. Now on Vinted, you can usually offer up to 40% off. And I think most sellers understand if they list something for 10 euros, people are going to send them offers for 6 euros. That's just the way it is. But what really annoys a lot of people is when somebody then sends them an offer just through a message for 2 euros. That's a real lowball offer, and most sellers get a bit insulted by something like that, and they don't even want to talk to you anymore. Another big don't is don't be rude or demanding. If you've been selling on Vinted for a little while, you know that if someone is demanding before a sale, they're also going to be demanding after a sale. They're going to try and get their money back, or they're going to leave you a bad review for no good reason. And sellers just don't want the headache. They're not going to deal with you if you're rude. Another thing you should never do is spam offer after offer after offer. If someone rejects your offer, don't come back and offer them 5 cents more. The 5 cents was not the problem. Send them one offer, and then we'll talk in a minute about what you do after that. My next pro tip is to look through all the seller's other listings, and if you can, take advantage of bundles. Bundles are another really unique feature to using Vinted as opposed to other platforms. With bundles, if you buy 2 or more items from the same seller, you could get 10, 20, up to 50% off, which is a big deal if you're really buying a lot of stuff on Vinted like I am. Even if the seller has bundles turned off and doesn't offer any of those discounts, you still save a lot of money on the Vinted fees and the shipping, so bundles are still totally worth your while. And as you're reviewing the bundle, instead of clicking on buy, you can always click on make an offer for the bundle. I know a lot of sellers have bundles turned off. Maybe they have a couple of really expensive items and they don't want anyone sort of cheating the system and getting a discount on those really expensive items. But that doesn't mean that they have a problem with giving a couple of euros off for normal everyday items. And I think all sellers really love selling a bundle because it's no extra work. It's the same amount of work to pack up and ship 4 things together as it is to pack up and ship 1 thing. So why not make a little bit of extra money? And that's why, in my experience, a lot of sellers are really eager to accept an offer on a bundle. Now, what happens if the seller declines your offer? You've got a few options. You can agree with them very politely and send them a counter offer, something like, I totally understand. What about 12 euros instead? You can also just wait and see, maybe after 2 weeks, if the item still hasn't sold, the seller might be a little bit more willing to negotiate with you. Also, just adding things to your favorites list, then you'll get a notification if the seller decides to drop the price on her own. And last but not least, be smart about who you're negotiating with. Here are some red flags that you need to look out for. Sellers with no reviews. Of course, this could just be a normal seller who hasn't made a sale yet, but it could also be someone trying to scam you. So just be careful, be sure to check through the package really thoroughly before you go ahead and click on everything is okay. You also really want to watch out for listings with stock images. Stock images. What is a stock image? It's basically anything from a professional photographer. So I think a lot of sellers like to list with the best pictures possible, put their best foot forward, but they are not allowed to use images from the brand's website or for any other site. And that's because oftentimes those people are trying to scam you and sell you an item that they don't actually have. Like, if I have a tank top in front of me, I can just take a picture of it. It's really not a big deal. But if I'm trying to scam you, then I'm going to steal a picture of a tank top from the web and see if I can get anyone to buy it and pay me for sending them nothing. And the last red flag is just unrealistic prices. Sometimes the price is so high that even negotiating a 40% discount really isn't worth it. On Vinted, there are plenty of other fish in the sea, so go out and find one that's going to be a bit better value for you. And there you have it, Vinted Negotiation 101. If you found this video helpful, then please leave it a like, subscribe to my channel, and if you'd like an idea of how much I usually pay for things on Vinted, then be sure to watch my Vinted haul video next. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye!